Hi, this is Jim Conner. Welcome back to another segment of Game Changers. We are in Sao Paulo, Brazil today at the Angels do Brasil conference. I'm meeting now with Paulo Andrez, who is the President Emeritus of the European Business Angels Network, commonly called EBAN. Paulo, welcome to the show. Delightful to see you again. We've met before in past years. I was delighted to see you here in Sao Paulo at the conference, and I think you've been brought in to deliver a very special message to the Brazilian community and the government in particular. Maybe you can give us an overview.
Yes, thank you for inviting me to be here. It's a pleasure. In reality, based on my experience in Europe, and I've been talking with more than 20 governments in Europe trying to implement co-investment funds and tax breaks and other initiatives in order to foster the angel community. Basically, my message here is that there are no excuses for the government not to implement the right policies. Because one of the problems, as we've seen today by the minister, is that Brazil created a lot of jobs, but they were not very high qualified jobs. And Brazil is suffering from brain drain. So that's a problem. And an entrepreneur that wants to raise money here in Brazil at this moment is not so easy. So they need to go to US. Of course, that is absolutely fantastic for US because in reality, Brazil supports all the costs of education of these people. And when they are ready to give back to the country, then US receives them free of charge. So only very rich countries like Brazil can afford this. So this is something that I mentioned to the policymakers. So they need to foster this angel community. The angel community, Angels do Brasil, they have been doing a great job, and other networks here in Brazil as well. But it's not enough. Brazil, the potential of Brazil is huge in terms of this angel investment. One thing that I told the policymakers here is that they should create these co-investment schemes. So if the angels invest in a deal, the government should invest together with these angels as well. Because this will allow the angels to invest in larger deals. This will allow the angels to be incentivized by asymmetric exits in terms of the deals with the government.
The government can really jumpstart that process by being a partner to the early stage investors. Now, did you suggest or do you help counsel these governments on exactly how to do this, and what is a qualified angel group and what is the type of investment? I mean, the angels are doing the due diligence because it's their money.
Yes.
So the government should feel pretty secure investing alongside them. And is that a training or a discussion you take them through?
So basically, there are two options from the government side. One option is that they say, okay, we accept co-investment proposals with angels, and every time angels have a proposal, they send to the government. The government will do due diligence on the angels, will do due diligence on the project itself, and it will take months. In the meantime, the project is gone, the market opportunity is gone. And there is another way, is that the government takes some time to accredit, to certify the angels as accredited co-investors of the government. So it may take some months, but once they are approved, then the decision of the government is basically automatically. So in Portugal, for instance, this model has worked very, very well, and it takes 2 weeks for the government to put money after the investors have decided to invest in a startup. So 2 weeks is a fantastic time, but of course there is a lot of work that has been done before. So basically I advise the government here to do the same scheme. They should take some time to certify the investors, the business angels that they want to co-invest with, and after they have approved them, then the process should be really straightforward.
Is there a cap or a limit on how much the government will put into a specific company, into your idea and your plan?
It's in Portugal the angels put 35% and the government puts 65%, but other countries is 50-50. So basically it depends on what the government wants. So if a startup, for instance, in Brazil can receive 50% as a grant, it doesn't make sense that the government is putting 50-50 with private investors. If they think that they can give a grant for free, they should give, let's say, 65% not as a grant, because in reality we are not talking about a grant. We are talking about co-investment scheme that the money will be returned to the state. So it should be a little bit higher of 50%. So my recommendation is that they just copy the Portuguese model, 65-35%.
It's a great model. I think you said that the government, I'd like to go through the discussion where for every euro the government invests, what is that study?
It's a study that was done by Mazars and by EBAN. And basically what the study is very, very simple. So the assumption is that 50% of the money onto a startup is done by the business angels and the co-investment fund from the government, and the rest of 50% is put by the entrepreneur, by other kind of investors that can come into the process. And in any investment, the government always gets between 30 to 45% in terms of taxes, because you have social security for the entrepreneurs, you have income tax, corporate tax, VAT that you cannot deduct at all. So on average in Europe it's between 30 to 45%. So in case a company invests all the money but does not succeed and they cease activity, it means, let's suppose a process that is 100,000 by business angels, 100,000 by government, and 200 by entrepreneurs. So the total investment is 400,000. 30% of 400,000 is 120,000. So if the government put 100,000, the government receives 120,000. This is no science. This is something very, very simple. And for those governments that they are afraid of losing some return in terms of the taxes, in tax breaks, they can do something very, very simple. For those that they are not confident on the process, they can say to the angel investors, yes, you can deduct this amount of money, but only once the company, the startup, has paid taxes in the same amount of money. So what is the risk of the government? Zero. There is zero risk of the government in terms of this process. It is possible to design a tax break scheme where there is no impact on the national budget of the government.
Do you think the government of Brazil here will approve a plan over maybe it will take 2 years, perhaps?
I think that it depends on the way that it is decided. The Brazil, if they want to start a co-investment fund, if they have the money, so if they find the money and they have the money, the design of the co-investment fund can be done in 7 days. We have a huge experience in Europe. We have several co-investment schemes. We have all the rules of the co-investment scheme. So they just need to take one example and change little things. Of course, in terms of approval, they may take a little bit more time, but I mean, it is possible realistically to put something in place in 6 months.
What's coming up in the future for you? Are you going to continue traveling all over the world, being the ambassador of entrepreneurship?
I travel a lot for people that know me, and they invite me to speak because I have lots of experience in terms of this area and with policies, and I talked with many governments, and I have a huge passion for this area. So,
Paulo, great to talk to you. Great information. Thank you for stopping by. Your contact is
pjandrez@gmail.com.
Thanks again. We look forward to keeping in touch with you. Appreciate your time today.
Okay.